Hello, how are you? Okay, very good. I am fine. Okay, dear friends. Today I am going to read you first a tale. I hope you like it. Let's start. Peter Plum and the Three Ready Horse. Once upon a time there was a charming boy called Peter Bloom. He was on the way to see his friendly Mary Gray when he decides to take a shortcut through Central Park. It wasn't long before Peter would off. He looked around, but he could see her trees. Nervously, he fell into his bag for his favorite toy, Mr. Teddy. But Mr. Teddy was nowhere to be found. Peter began to panic. He felt sure he had paddled Mr. Teddy. To make matters worse, he was starting to feel hungry. Young Splendid, he sat already horse dressed in a green sweater disappearing into the trees. How was to touch Peter? For the want of anything better to do, he decides to follow the peculiarly dressed horse. Perhaps it could tell him the way of the forest. Eventually, Peter receives a clearing. He found himself surrounded by houses made from different sorts of food. There was a house made from cabbages, a house made from chocolate, a house made from cupcake, and a house made from hamburgers. Peter could feel his tummy rumbling. Looking at the houses did nothing to ease his hunger. "Hello," he called. "Is anybody there?" Nobody replied. Okay. Peter looked at the roof on the closet house and wondered if this would be rude to eat somebody else's chimney. Obviously, it would be impolite to eat a whole house, but her purpose is would be considered acceptable to nibble the earth's future or leave the earth feeding. In a time of need, a cakey blow throws the air, giving Peter a fright. I wedged June into the space in front of the houses. She was carrying a cake. In that case was Mr. Teddy. Mr. Teddy, shoots Peter. He turned to the witch. "That's my toy!" The witch who used shrugged. "Guy, Mr. Teddy Bat," cries Peter. "No, on your Nelly," says the witch. "At least let Mr. Teddy out that cave." Before she could reply, three ready horses fused in from a footpath on the other side of the clearing. Peter recognized the one in the green sweater that he seems earlier. The witch seemed to recognize him too. "Hello, widows," says the witch. "Good morning." The horse noticed Mr. Teddy. "Mr. Teddy, who is this?" That's Mr. Teddy explains the wits. Whoa, Mr. Teddy would look lovely in my house. Give it to me, demanded the horse. The witch shook her head. Mr. Teddy is staying with me. Excuse me, Peter interrupted. Mr. Teddy lives with me, and not in a cave. The dwarf ignored him. Is there nothing your straight? He asked the witch. The witch thought for a moment, then sighed. I do like to be entertained. It relieves him to anybody who can add a wolfron's do. Big Earth looks as the house made from hamburgers and sighed. No problem. I could eat an empty house made from hamburgers if I want to. Nodding, sighed the next horse. I could eat two houses. There's no need to snow off. Size the whip, use at one front door, and if let you hat, Mr. Teddy. Peter watched, feeling very worried. Hidden was the wits to guide Mr. Teddy to with oars. He didn't think Mr. Teddy would like living with a ready horse, away from his house and all his other toys. The other two horses wanted Will by horse put on his feet and withdrew a knife and fork from his pocket. "I'll eat this whole house," sighed the horse. "Use you what with horse pulled off a corner of the front door of the house made from chocolate. He wolfed is down smelling and went but for more, and more and more. Eventually, by horse started to get bigger, used a little bit bigger at first, but after a few more forkfuls of chocolate, he reached to the size of a large snowball, and he was every bit around. And I don't feel too good, said Big Horse. Suddenly he started to roll. His ground so round that he could no longer balance. "Help!" he cried, and he rolled off down a slope into the forest. Big Horse never finished eating the front door made from chocolate, and Mr. Teddy remains trapped in the witch's cave. A barrier horse stepped up and approached the house made from Scoot Cave. If it's this would have size a barrier horse, use you what? A barrier horse pulls off a corner of the front door of the house made from Scoot Cave. She whoops it down smiling and went by for more, and more and more. After a while, a barrier horse started to look a little crazy. She gets greener and greener. A woodcutter walked into the clearing. "What these bones doing here?" he asked. "I'm not a wolf. I am horse," says a banner horses. "It stalls," exclaims the woodcutter. "Those walking bushes are the wolf kings. It's better take it away before somebody gets hurt." No, wait, cries at Manager Horf, as the woodcutter pitches her up. But the woodcutter ignored her cries and carried the horse away under his arm. A barrier horse never finished eating the front door made from wood cave, and Mr. Teddy remains trapped in the witch cave. Little Horse stepped up and approached the house made from bamboo. "If eats this good house," said Little Horse, "use you what?" Little Horse pulled off a corner of the front door on the house, made from bamboo. He gulped it down smiling and sweet, but more for more, and more and more. After 5 or 6 places, Little Hope started to feel uncomfortable on the spot. He stopped eating hamburger for a moment, then grabbed another fork. But before he could eat it, there came an ambulance roar. A balloon moved louder than a rocket, taking off, propelling Little Horse into the sky. "Ah!" cries Little Horse. "I am scared of heights." Little Horse was never seen again. Little Horse never finished eating the front door made from hamburgers, and Mr. Teddy remains trapped in the witch's cave. "That's it," says the witch. "I win. I get to catch Mr. Teddy." "No, so fast," sighed Peter. "There is still on the front door to go." The front door of the house made from cat and I have, I haven't had a tour yet. "I don't have to give you a tour," launched the whip. "My games, my rules." The Scooter boys guards towards the forest. "I think you should give him a chance. It is only fair." "Fine," says the whip. "But you saw what happened to the horse. He won't last long." "It'll be right back," sighed Peter. "What?" says the wife. "Where's your sense of impatience? I told you wanted Mr. Teddy back." Peter ignored the wave and gave a half peal of stiff. He came back to the clearing and started a small campfire. Carefully, he brought off a piece of the durons the house made from cabbage and tossed it over the fire. One is hot cookies and cutlets used later. He took a bite. He quickly devoured the worst piece. Peter sat down on a heavy lump. "You failed," chuckled the witch. "You were supposed to ease the burrito." "I haven't finished," explains Peter. "I am just waiting for my food to go down." When Peter's food had digested, he brought on another piece of the dough made from cabbage. Once more he tossed his food over the fire and waited for it to cool just a little. He ate it at a leisurely pace, then waited for it to digest. Eventually, after several sittings, Peter was done to the final piece of the dough made from cat baguettes. Carefully, he toasted in a oven which it to cool you a little. He finished his final course. Peter had eaten the entire front door of the house made from cabbage. The wheat stained her foot angrily. "You must have tricked me," she said. "I don't reward cheating." "I don't think so," said a voice. It was the woodcutter. He walked back into the clearing carrying his axe. "This little boy won fight and squad. Now, hands over Mr. Teddy, or I will chop your bones in half." The witch looked horrid. She grabbed her bronze and placed it behind her. Then hurrying, she opened the door of the cave. Peter hurried over and grabbed Mr. Teddy, checking that its favorite toy was arrived. Fortunately, Mr. Teddy was unharmed. Peter thanks the woodcutters, grabbed a quiet souvenir, and hurried on the meat Mary. It was starting to get dark when Peter got to Mary's house. He friendly draped his arms around him. "I was worried," cried Mary. "You are very late." As Peter described his day, he could tell that Mary didn't believe him, so he glanced a knuckling from his pot. "What's that?" asked Mary. Peter unfolds a doormat made from chocolate pudding, he says. Mary almost fell off his chair. Okay, thanks. Bye bye.